That's a nice Friday night, isn't it? The Mariners come away with a fantastic 2-1 win away at Colchester, and what can I say? We've certified our top 7 so far. Performance, I'll take you through what the initial lineup for the Mariners were. We started, as we normally do at the moment, Jordan Wright in goal with the back three of Harvey Rogers, Doug Darm and Terrell Warren on the right hand side. George McEachran just in front of them with Van Thorson, Green, Khouri, Hume, and Rose and Barrington up front. Barrington was supporting Rose, and it was a fantastic team performance. It really was from minute one, really all the way through. It was a tight first half. The Mariners had the early chances, or very early chance, as Evan Khouri had a shot very early on in the first half, but there was no, what you'd say, clear-cut chances in the first half. It was all real, real good play by both sides without really any kind of penetration. Obviously, in the Colchester ranks was former town loanee Owura Edwards, who I have to admit for Colchester was the best player for them on the night. He really did run our right hand side sort of ragged, really. You could see Rogers having to run, and at times we were having to get 2 or 3 players around him. Especially in that first half, the amount of times he got time to run in that on that right hand side. He was their real outlet. You know, even though they had former Charlton striker Lyle Taylor, as well as former Lincoln player Anderson, who went off injured in the first half, unfortunately for them. And Macy in goal for them made some cracking saves throughout the game. But again, the first half was fairly even. Nobody really had any clear-cut chances that in that game. Then Raheem had another good performance in the first half. Kieran Green, what a guy! What absolute! He's becoming a little bit of a legend at Grimsby at the minute. Is Kieran Green, and it really was a game in the first half that had very few chances. We had more shots. After about 35 minutes, we'd had 4, but none on target. We'd actually had no shots on target in the first half by either side. And going in at 0-0, you're thinking, no, that's good. You know, that's decent football played by both sides. The pitch was atrocious. I then have looked at it as though it looked like a beach, and it was called the accident commentary. I also thought it looked like bunkers for the Masters Golf. And I mean, Grimsby's pitch is not anything to write home about, but that is a terrible pitch, and even Danny Cowley, like you said, nothing I can do about the pitch. That was probably the worst pitch. Like I said, ours is pretty bad, but theirs was how both sides, to be fair, played some decent football on that pitch. It's credit to both sides, really. But we went in at half time. We went in level. It was, like I said, it was fairly even, and Payne was being shielded quite well by McEachran and by Khouri and by Warren. Warren was doing a fantastic job, really, against Edwards for a lot of it. I thought Terrell had another fantastic game, especially in the first half. I thought it was superb. Going into the second half, though, you never know how it's going to start. You never really know how it's going to start and how, coming out from the break, you're always hoping for a fast start, and that is exactly what the Mariners got. We got the ball from, first of all, the plays are back. We played the ball over the top, which landed for Evan Khouri. He got to the byline. He pulled it back into the box, and it was a tussle between, I believe it was Flanagan and Kieran Green. Green just sort of he said it kind of fell on it, and it kind of rolled in, sort of out-muscled their defender, and what a start for the Mariners, really, to the second half. Just the kind of start Grimsby needed. Again, a record for Grimsby so far again. It was heading towards the fact that, I said this earlier in the season, if Town score first, I'd say 8-9 times out of 10 we don't lose. But we started like we meant business, because for the next couple of minutes, we were getting chances. Denver Hume had one, Karen Green had another. Barrington did well down one side. Svan Thorson's close control is fantastic. There was times really when he could have, let the ball run out, and he was just able to just keep it in and make a turn and make a simple pass or get it across somewhere to just break it up. And it was a joy to see. Karen Green obviously got booked in the first half. It was basically for consistent fouling, and there was a couple of times in the second half as well as the first where I think we got a couple of soft decisions. There was definitely a push in the second half where I couldn't understand why Colchester would be a little bit aggrieved. I think it was by Terrell Warren, or it was Harvey Rogers, and it was a push, which the referee didn't give. I was surprised he didn't give it, a free kick at least. But that was the breaks. But you can understand why the Colchester fans were starting to sing to the referee, "You're not fit to referee." I could understand the agreement a little bit, but they took decisions like that as well. But we probably did get the chunk of the decisions by the ref on this occasion. But after the goal, we had a 2 or 3 minute spell after that, and then probably the best player on the pitch, skillfully, obviously the Mariners know of him. A great pass over to Owura Edwards, and he was pushed out wide by Harvey Rogers, not quite wide enough, and really what a fantastic finish by Edwards to put it in the opposite side of Wright's goal into the bottom right corner. Wonderful finish. Jack Payne got the assist for that. Can't fault that, and obviously we saw little bits of that back in the lockdown season when we had him on loan. He was from Bristol City, that was. But Aurora was obviously really found her home at Colchester, and you can see that, and you can see how he's improved as well over the time since we had him at Grimsby Town. But we didn't let that a little bit of a setback put us back, because again, McEachran did some great work in the middle. He was breaking up play lovely. Doug Tham had a chance just after their goal where you're thinking just stretched a little too far and it just went over the top of the bar. It was a great performance all round. Again, Denver Hume had a shot that very easily could have gone in. Didn't. There was a good save made by Wright though, at 1-1. Just which, to be fair, was a fantastic shot. Wright probably Jordan probably made more of the save than needed to be, but you've got to get it. You've got to get it out and out of the way, which he did. Again, we came close. Again, it was Doug Tham again. A cross was put in by Denver Hume, and over it went. He got the header. I don't think he was trying to header it to try and get it past Macy. I think he was trying to head it back across as Danny Rose was coming to run in to try and... if he had got it there, it would have been a tapping for Danny, because you could see Danny pointing as he was running into the net. And you could see he was a little bit frustrated there. Danny Rose was maybe a little bit isolated, but again, doing a job. He wasn't necessarily, didn't score, but at the end of the day, again, it's the troublemaking that Danny Rose can give. And then we did get a bit fortunate with the winner. We did get very fortunate with the winner, to be completely honest. It was they were trying to play the passing back at the back, and on that pitch, I think it could have happened to any team or saw them. To be honest with you, it was just a miscontrol by the Colchester player on the pitch, and Barrington was able to take the ball off. The player did an amazing run himself into the 18-yard box and just laid it off beautifully for Evan Khouri, who from the edge of the box just placed it beautifully into the bottom right corner. It was an absolutely fantastic finish by Ev, who really has come into his own this season. His 5th season with the club, but the first real season where you can see what he's got. A goal and assist for Evan today was just really the icing on the cake. Luca Barrington again, another good game. Obviously the subs that came on, it was more so after the second goal. Curtis Thompson replaced George McEachran. Obviously Jordan Davis replaced Kieran Green after Kieran had got booked on the 28th minute. He got replaced by Jordan Davis on 77. And Jaden Luca came on for Luca Barrington with a couple of minutes to go. Evan Khouri obviously got a booking 79 minutes. It was right, it was a pullback. And Jordan Davis had a chance not long after he came on though from a free kick, and he wasn't too far away. It was wide. I think the keeper would have got to it, but it was a close chance. And what we were good at, we didn't really, after our goal, we didn't really give them too many chances. Again, their main outball was Edwards. Whenever Edwards got it, it was always danger. But that is probably the best defensive performance I've seen Town put in for a long, long time. And we've won games to 0, but everybody was. It looked and felt like all hands on deck. Everyone knew where the threat was, and really the major threat from Colchester was Edwards. They didn't really have much else. In the end, there weren't many chances that came in from Sheffield. I think they may have had 2 shots in the entire game, and were able to see out the remaining 6 minutes of injury time. Colchester kept prodding, but they never really, in that last 15 minutes after we scored, never really looked like scoring again. It was kind of like, just do the job, do your jobs properly, and that is what the lads did. Rosie, with about 5 minutes to go, he won that free kick by basically the Colchester player pulling his arm. But again, it was just causing trouble, and that got us the free kick, which Davis skewed just wide. But it was a complete performance to come away again. That is our 10th away win of the season. That is our 19th win of the season, I believe. To come to what you can see now is a playoff rival, and go to Colchester and win. Big win. That now puts us 4 points clear of Colchester, and we're able to see out the final 6 minutes with minimal fuss, really. And the lads were just fantastic today. Man of the match for me, I think you've got to give it to Ev, haven't you, really? But I did agree with Arta in his post-match with Matt Dean. He said, and to the club media, to a man, they were all fantastic, and he was absolutely right. They were all fantastic. There was not, what I'm going to say now about this team. I know I got called out again on social media about Artel and that, but like I said to him, I can't fault what Artel's done with this team, and I won't. He's proven me wrong. I hope he does. I'm glad that he is. But what he's got is he's got a team here that are playing for him. There's no major stars in that team. In regards to, if you look at some of the, you look at some of the players that are around in League Two. The one name we've got, you would say at League Two level, is Danny Rose. That League Two clubs would know. Not many League Two clubs would know Kieran Green that well. Not many League Two clubs, obviously Swindon would, but not many League Two clubs would really know George McEachran. Not many would know Doug Tharm. Not many would know Evan Khouri. Not many would know Denver Hume. Not many would know Luca Barrington. We haven't got named players. We've got a good, strong, solid unit, and that is the first time that, I won't say the first time, but it's been a while where I've looked at that and gone, I know that if we could get the lead in this, we're not losing this. I felt like we weren't going to lose that game. We just needed to get in front. And even though, it was a cracking goal they scored to get themselves level, they didn't really look like scoring a second. They never really looked like scoring a second. And we dealt with the conditions of the pitch better than Colchester. And at the end of the day, we take 3 points back to Bundle Park. So hopefully the lads will travel back safe, and any fans, of course, that have gone to the game, I believe it's around about 500 or so. Credit to you in regards to that. For a Friday night as well. Any that are travelling back tonight, safe journey back, because that is a long trip to make. I'm sure a couple of them will be making a weekend of it. I'm sure they will, but at least, we can celebrate a win, and we are guaranteed to be in the playoffs by the end of play tomorrow, when the other teams do play. Now with that 4 point gap. Again, even though it's a 4 point gap, we're still on a negative goal difference. If I want to be picky, I still think we need to do this by getting the wins, because we're not going to do it via goal difference, and I've said that countless times. But what I can say is tonight that the team's together. Artel definitely has the team believing. I think the fans are starting to believe now. I think we're 3 wins away from possibly, or 4 wins away from possibly confirming a playoff place. I think we're probably about 2 wins away from guaranteeing a top half finish. But playing like that away, we know how to win away from home. And we've done it again against a good team. Because like Artel said in his post-match, for majority of the season, at least half of the season, they've been the best team in League Two. So to come and to go to Colchester, which is always a tricky place to go, and to pick up 3 points. When you think about it, the only team to majorly do the double over Grimsby this season is Notts County. And now we're level on points with Notts County. We're goal difference behind Notts County, and they've beat us twice. And that's what I mean. I mean, you look what they've got up front, Jata, and they've got David McGoldrick. They've got players that we haven't got. But what we've got is we've got a bunch of committed lads who are giving absolutely everything to the cause. Are they going to play well all the time? No. We've had 2 defeats before the last 2 wins. Did we play fantastic against Newport? No, but we played well, but we didn't slaughter them. We didn't take the chances. This time we did. It's just it's nice to come onto these reviews and previews and know that there's a side that will give us absolutely everything they've got. No, they're not going to win every week. I'm aware of that. But performances like that, effort, or the way we have got more threats than just Danny Rose, we've shown that. And we've shown a togetherness, which I believe we actually had in the National League promotion season. We've got a similar togetherness now. We've got pretty close to the same, feels like the same sort. Now, that doesn't mean promotion. What that means is you can just tell there's no stars in that team. But we've gone to Walsall this season, won. We've gone to Gillingham when they were top, won. We've gone to Colchester, won. We've played Bradford at the start of the season, won, who are second now. We've in the cup we've I remember saying just before the halfway point, if we can have a similar set of results from what we did the first half, we could do that to get top 7. I'm not by any means saying we're guaranteed to be top 7 still, but it's about now going on from here and playing another very tricky game away at Crewe on Tuesday night. And lads, this is a season that I don't think anybody has expected from the Mariners, and it's so good to go into the last 7 games now, knowing that could end up being in our hands as to where we finish. I think we're 2 wins away from a top half finish. I think if we get that, then I think top half is a certainty. But again, we have to, at the same time as dreaming big, which I'm sure a lot of the fans will now, I think we've got to come down to earth and realise that Crewe are going for something as well. They're going to want to get back in this playoff hunt. They play tomorrow. So, they're going to be looking for a result, and also playing us on Tuesday night. But one thing we can do, we can enjoy now everyone else suffering trying to get results over the weekend, knowing that we've done our job. And that is the last thing I want to say in the video. As long as we do our job, doesn't matter what anybody else does. As long as we do our job. And at the minute we are doing our job. We are succeeding well above definitely what people expected us to do, and including me. As I said, Artel's proved me wrong, and I'm pleased as punch that he is. I'm pleased as punch that he is. Please don't take when I've said that it was a dislike of Artel. It never was that. It was what it was, but it was never I disliked him. I just wasn't a fan of him, and I'm not gonna, but I'm gonna give him credit where credit is due, and David is proving me wrong, and he's proving the pundits, absolutely proving the pundits wrong. Whatever happens, now he's proving he's proving that money doesn't mean everything, especially in the lower leagues. Because I don't think there's nobody even in this playoff run that would have had us 4 points clear of Colchester in a playoff place. Level on points with Notts County, with the revenue and funds that Notts County have got. We've now won 19 games this season. Yes, we've lost 15, but we've only won one more game. We've only won one less game, than the leaders Walsall. So, I'm pleased at the end of the season to say David Artel's proven me wrong. And I have no issue in saying that. No issue in saying that. So, boys, fantastic win from them today. Leave your comments down below if you were at Colchester. You're going back. You see this video. Leave me your comments down below on it. It's another underdog story, isn't it? Of what Grimsby Town are actually achieving. Technically on paper we're 2 points off the top three. But you have to take into account that Walsall play Wimbledon on Saturday, so that could change a little bit. Let's just focus on doing our job. And as long as we do our job, don't matter what anybody else does. Do our job, and they can win any game they want to. Let's just do our job and make this the best season that we possibly can. I've got a good stat for people if we do achieve, which I think we're quite close to doing, but it's an amazing stat. What I picked up on a couple of days ago, but I'll announce that when it's the right time. But what I'm going to say, great win for David Artel and the boys. Another 3 points. It's cemented a playoff place for now. 62 points the Mariners are on. That's 4 points clear of Crewe and of Colchester. So it's onwards to Crewe, and we move on and see what the Mariners can do at Crewe. Last time we were at Crewe, we won 3-0 at the back end of last year. I'll be back with a preview on Sunday for that, so keep an eye out for that. Hit the bell button, that'll let you know when that gets uploaded, and all other Grimsby Town content for the remainder of the season. Like, share, subscribe, comment to this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. So, up the Mariners, and we're in the playoffs, baby, and this time it's getting serious. I'll see you soon. Ta-da. See you in the preview. See you soon.